Audio check. Audio check. Can you hear me? This says it should be good. Computer says it should be good. Is it loud enough? Let me know before I start talking. Maybe I won't have too much to say. Maybe I'll just let the laser speak for itself. Let's see. Let me turn on my overhead lights. I haven't got that far yet. That one back there. And that lights up this. So there's the big bed for the Aliencell. Now, I'm going to refer you guys to Rich's video. He released one today about the Aliencell. He went through some unboxing. I end up not getting any unboxing footage. I did have a couple pictures I could probably pull up here. Let's see what I do have. Nah, nothing worth looking at. It'd be better just to show you the actual laser itself. What I'm going to do, I have a camera set up inside too. Temporarily disconnect that one. Turn the laser on. That's all it takes to turn it on, and then the screen will turn on right there. It's the air compressor. I'll get a different camera here and get you a better view. Unless I end up unplugging these damn things. Hopefully it recognizes that as a webcam. We'll see shortly. It says webcam, but it's not coming up. Come on, man. I figured this would happen if I ended up trying to switch cameras right in the middle. How's everybody doing today? Yes, Led Zepp, you were mentioned a little bit ago. It's not doing. Oh, there it's booting up. What I'm doing is using this UVC device to convert webcam input into HDMI, and it was working just fine. The other webcam, there we go. Now I got it. Now I can use my Osmo here and get you some fairly steady footage up close. Touch screen. See, there's a project saved in there. That's one I ran with the Aliencell software. It stores those. There's your settings. You can change your Wi-Fi. But there's the 60-watt module. You can see for the camera calibration, it has these checkerboards around the perimeter of the bed. See everything. All right. So there's where it monitors the air quality and the particulates in the air. Ports for offline files, loading off the USB, connect to your computer, accessories. So this is the air assist plugged in. This is where your rotary would go and the fire extinguisher. There's the USB lock right there. It's out. The device goes into lock mode. They just have this little key, and they give you two of them. Pop it in the USB, and that unlocks it. You stop. And then power is plugged directly into the laser from the wall, so there's not a power brick for it. There is, and then there's your air system fire extinguisher inputs. And here is the air pump, or the compressor, I should say. It's a real compressor. And let's see. Really cool see-through window. You can see it moving in there. You can select the mode, take power, 1, 2, 3, and auto. What else we got? Show you the lid closed. When you close the lid, the interior light comes on. You get a nice view of the whole bed. There's something else I was going to show you too. Take this out. It does have the red dot crosshairs there, as you can see. Your removable crumb tray. The honeycomb is fixed in place. As you can see, it's real tight. It's not moving around. I'm going to cut a little jig so I can work in absolute coordinates. And of course, you do have the knife blades for the knife table, if you choose to use those instead. It did come with these really cool hold downs. But this is to hold down your material on the knife table. When you're not using the knife table, you pop this out. So then you have this magnet that slides right down in the honeycomb, and use that for your hold down. And when not using the honeycomb, using the blades, you can use that for your hold down. Now I'll come back over and hit comment, see if I missed anything or if anything's screwing up. Phone's dinging. What's it dinging for? Okay, cool. Thanks, Rich. Open eye with the word sneak peek. All right, I will do that. Facebook group coming up. All right, I was going to show you the Aliencell software here real quick. So they're still working on this software, but what I wanted to show you there's some tools. There's the built-in library. So like Rich said in his video, it's similar to the We Create and some of the other software, but this is still work in progress. And here you can set it where processing on slats removed, or with the honeycomb. So I'll set it to honeycomb. Shows where I'm connected. You can actually see the camera that is built into the machine. It's hiding in the front left-hand corner. Close the lid. If it's not showing up, it's probably because of the Wi-Fi. It was working last night. I would assume it would work even when you're not using the laser, but I'll come back to that. That software out. Bring LightBurn on board. Rich showed on his review the fact that 0 coordinates for the bed are out with LightBurn is a little concern for me. Have you found the same? What exactly were you referring to, Led Zepp? Select this laser here. All right, now we're connected. I'm going to switch back to the other camera momentarily. Then we get LightBurn connected. Ends up going into, no, don't look down, LightBurn mode. So I closed the Aliencell software, opened LightBurn, LightBurn connected, and it immediately went into LightBurn mode. I'm going to use the little map icon and move it out here for you. LightBurn does control the X or Z up and down. It, it. Autofocus in the version I have uh, is not working at the moment, but yeah, as Rich is alluding to in the comments, LightBurn and Aliencell are working together to institute these advanced features for this laser. So that will be coming soon, probably around the time that the Kickstarter ends, I'd imagine, somewhere in that time. But they're going to be in sync very soon. So that is not a concern. Let's see. Oh, he's talking about those coordinates. Well, what I did is I cut, I think, yeah. For me to work in absolute coordinates, all I have to do is place this in the home corner, so the back left, and then this little jig will let me work from absolute coordinates. And it's different with the 60-watt module versus like Rich's 40-watt, because his is a little thicker on this leg on the y-axis. So I was actually going to cut a new one out of poplar that runs the whole width of the bed and the whole depth of the honeycomb. So that is not a big deal at all. Let's see. I need to link Rich's video so you guys can go back and watch that one. All right, what do you guys want to see it do first? Need some cutting or engraving, any particular material? Let me know. I'll take requests. In the meantime, I can go ahead and cut that jig. Just have to make it real quick. That wouldn't take very long. But I have 1/4-inch poplar that I'm going to cut that out of, which would be this. One-inch wood. I do have some various thicknesses here. So I figured somebody would want to see me try out. I don't think the laser does double backflips. And I'm certainly not going to try it. Not today. Not ever. All right, I'm going to get this camera out of here. Plug it, turn it off. Now plug the other webcam back in here. It worked right off the bat. Do the Irish jig while I'm cutting out a jig. That would probably be appropriate. Get this position back where it should be. We can watch some action. Over a little. All right, I'm going to turn the machine off here for a second. Here's your air hose. Here is your connector for the module. And let's see. Then there's a little lever on this side. So if you were going to change modules, that's all there is to it. All the modules will be the same. And then for the autofocus, this is the sensor right here. And installation is this easy. Magnets. And on the module, you've got a couple big fans there. Just drops into the cutouts. Once it hits the bottom, tighten the lever that secures it in place. Plug your cords back in, and you're good to go. And that's it. Turn it back on. Give it a second to boot up there. Once it does, the lights will come on and it'll home itself. All right, just that simple. And it automatically detected LightBurn was running and switched to LightBurn mode. And here's the view from above with the lights on inside. Really easy to see everything. The knife bed works far better than the honeycomb for cutting. All right. Let's see. How about we went? I'm gonna let this run with 0 power, just so you can see it run at 30,000 millimeters per minute. So here we go. That's what 30,000 looks like. That looks pretty cool, right? Let me stop that. Send it to home. Our library. What I'm going to do is run just a demo of this pattern in line mode, just to see power 0. So these are the size of PMags. Sure, I want to remove overlaps. And then I'm just going to hit run and get an idea of the speed and acceleration on all the turns. There is running those PMags in line mode, and it's running pretty fast. Looks good. But how do the engraved lines look? I should just do a demo of that too. Then I'll get to cutting. Stop this. So autofocus isn't working yet in LightBurn. It works in the Aliencell software. So basically what I have to do is home it, or what anybody would have to do at this point, but this is the beta. It'll be working when it's released. You just measure the distance from the laser head to the honeycomb, and then find out what that number is, and then subtract the focal distance from it and move your Z height down that far. But then you have to add back in your material thickness and raise it back up by that amount. So I just have one number that I know, subtract material height from X number, and that's all I need to do to set my focal height. It's pretty simple, but the autofocus does work in the Aliencell software at this point. Compressor off. I stopped the job in the middle of LightBurn, and the compressor kept running. So that's something that's working on being addressed as well. All right, you want to do the lines at that speed, or would you rather me go ahead and start cutting something? Yes, Rich's autofocus does work. He has the latest firmware. I totally forgot about that. Calipers. Let me go ahead and make jig, and then that'll enable me to do some cutting at the same time. Yeah, basically, you won't have to worry about it, Ed. The 23.5. Let's make my jig. Be 23.5 tall. Very thin on the side. So it's only like 5 millimeters. 0.5 to adjust for curve. Approximately didn't want to select. 8. The height. Then I have to subtract, what was that? 3.5. This will be 4 8 minus 24 equals 456. Align these on the edge, and then remove overlapping lines. So that's good. Okay, that will be the jig. Piece of poplar. Sitting inside too, but still a little work. That closed. This camera a little bit higher, I think. I'm gonna, let's see, let me just move it. Caliper again. From that angle, you can see that that laser pointer cross is pretty wide. Just my move here. Now, if I move this down, that should become more narrow and more in focus. Kind of hard to see, but you definitely see it looks a little more crisp there. And that is the actual focal distance now. It's at the correct height. Turn on my exhaust fan. I don't want to be full of smoke. I have no idea what speed to run this at. No idea. I'm just going to guess. Try 800. See if that works. All right, here we go. So this will be 800 millimeters per second, or per minute, 800 millimeters per minute. See how she does. I see smoke coming from the bottom, but there's also some coming off the side, so we'll see. Thicker wood, you definitely get more smoke. Yep. Luckily, I can't smell a thing. It's all being pushed out by the fans built into the laser and then sucked out by my exhaust fan. So it's sealed up very well. What I should have done is ran a material test first, but who's got time for that? There's only one spot where it didn't quite go all the way through on this piece. It's because there was a knot there. So I'm going to have to file that down. That'll be the jig for that side, or the back. And here's that knot. I think if it was going a little slower, it would have got it. But then this piece on this side. There, that'll make a nice little jig to work from absolute coordinates. That's what it looks like from above. I've got an idea in mind to keep these in place. But now this will do. So right there should be absolute coordinates, and the X from the crosshair is right in the corner. It's pretty close. All right, what else you guys want to see? I think I have an idea. The Eiffel Tower. The 10.67. Stuck. I could always try and cut this piece of pine. Acrylic. All right, I can do acrylic. Went fast. Engrave acrylic or cut acrylic? Or engrave and cut acrylic? All right, now we're at proper Z height. All right, I'm going to cut this. I'm not sure what speed to cut the acrylic. I'm going to go with, let's see, let's just try 800 and see how it does. Too big. Let it finish doing what it's doing. So that was 800 speed and the 60 watt cut that acrylic. So I could have ran that faster, it looks like. Um, I have an idea. I was thinking, what if it did this honeycomb pattern in an offset fill just to see how fast it would run, how it does. Just to do something different. I better grab some, I think I do have some yellow right here beside me. There's the black acrylic. Hopefully you're getting that. All right, let's run this offset fill and see what happens. I didn't frame it very good. That's all right. Obviously, I wasn't watching whenever I framed that up. It won't take very long. Ed, I do have yellow acrylic. What do you want to see on yellow? You want it cut? Anybody else want to see anything in particular? Yes, what material do you want? All right, I've got a big old sheet of yellow, so that's no problem. One thing I will say, the acrylic that this Aliencell was wrapped in on the lid, the paper came off nice and smooth, whereas this yellow acrylic here, the paper is not wanting to come off very well. That's not too bad. Obviously, material test would have been ideal. Let's see, focus on my hand. And I'm on there. There's the black. That's not bad for a guess. Could be better. Would be better with a material test. I have this, Ed. Does that work? What are you wanting to see? A cut material test? Saved it is 390% power. It's reasonable. You don't want to put it in the center here. Offset for me. I had sent it home now. I forgot to move the Z down before I brought the material test up. This again real quick. The text setting, hopefully it saved it. Yeah. I didn't save my speed on the text setting. Oh, it does have it built in. I haven't played around with it that much. Haven't got to that point yet. Give you that view so it's not quite as much glare. Need a seizure warning. As much light reflects off of that acrylic. So, Jeremy, I think we weren't supposed to use the firmware that Rich is running, but we could let it update over Wi-Fi because that's different than what Rich is running. Sure, what it did. Oh, bear with me. There we go. Now, move down. Something it didn't like about that setting. I'm not sure what it was. No, it's not that. It was some. It didn't like part of that material test for some reason. It stopped. Try that again. We're getting in focus. Laser tools, material test, material setting. I have no clue what it's doing. Must have reran the text. Okay, and then I screwed that one up because my setting changed, so it actually ran it with an extra 0. That's funny. All right, yeah, it ran it with an extra 0. So I need to go and change that. It ran at 600 millimeters per minute to 18,000 millimeters per minute. I think that's a little bit too fast for cutting. That's funny. Start over. There, I'll leave that up there for a moment. Mute. C is dropping. Laser tools material test. The proper height there. Frame. Should be framed. Speed. Min of, let's do 250, max of 1500. Power will do min 40, max of 100. Okay, now let's run this and see what happens. Next, we try some engraving. Want some wood? See what it was doing there. In progress. He's finished. Still has the paper on the back. So it looks like the sweet spot is somewhere between 350. Glasses. They look like Birch's glasses. Like between 350 and 550. And let's see. 550, 70% power. No, 70, about 60% power right there. About 550 millimeters per second, about 50% power. Cut that. These were getting close. You could see the next row up started to come through the paper. All right, that one was through the paper. That's 90% power and like around, I think that one's about 600 millimeters per second. Minute, sorry. I need to refresh this because I'm not getting any comments popping up. That should be good. Okay, let's do another material test. This time on birch. See how it cuts. Just a moment. To falling down. Since it's falling, I'm going to change the angle. There. Hopefully it's be a little bit better of an angle for this material test. Drop the Z. There you can see the crosshair become more crisp. The material test, and we'll do a cutting test on 3mm birch plywood. Minimum speed of 600, max 18. Oh, it reset it again. 1800. I'm going to do 40 to 100% power. To 100%. Okay. I'm going to run the text at 20,000 and power of 40. See how it turns out. Frame it. It's running that text at 20,000 and a power of 40 in line mode. That looks pretty easily readable just from that view. I like it. I was going to put magnets underneath that so we could see the things fall out. Is anyone in that Aliencell Facebook group? You can share the link to this stream in there. I wasn't a member yet. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, Rich. Well, as you can see, it is not having any issues cutting at 600 speed and 40% power. To readjust this material test and go faster. No, all right, I got to stop this. It screwed up that test. I screwed up the test. The perils of a live stream. It had changed my default settings, so then I went back and fixed them and then mistyped the speed. That was my bad. All right, I swear this one's going to be correct. This one's for the win. Yay, that one's correct. Still registering a 3 on the PM scale there, Rich. Finally. So at 1200 millimeters per minute and 87% power. Oh, I forgot to change the damn camera. Sorry. 1222, 87% power. That one was kind of barely hanging on, and then these two fell out at the 80, at 93 and 100. That one's almost, this one's almost through. Right here. That just popped out. That one's almost through. That one should have fell out, but it didn't. So there, the fastest cut was at 1378 millimeters per minute at 100% power. One up top just almost came through. And that was 1500. So maybe around 1425. Probably as fast as we could go at 100% power. That's pretty good. Yeah, I meant to stick magnets under there and then forgot. That's not bad. Looking at it from behind, cuts are all uniform. There we go. Yeah, other than bouncing off the honeycomb, it looks really good. I'm happy with that. Yes, air assist was on. Yes, for cutting, definitely. The knife bed, I like it much better. I want you guys to see this. Just this camera first. Okay. I'm going to take that same PMAG file that I had earlier. All right, that's in a good spot. Let me drop the laser down. And I'm going to run this in line mode at 20,000 millimeters per minute, and just we'll do 50% power, and we'll see how this turns out. Gotta get rid of that reflection there. So this is even the 60 watt. Running at that high speed, it's a very nice, thin, and crisp line. I tested this out last night and I was very impressed. I don't have near the time Rich had on the machine. I think I spent maybe an hour with it. Rich, did that calibration take like 5 minutes or 10 minutes? I left it on auto. I think folks interested in purchasing this might want to see the calibration just so they see what they're getting. And if you have a Bamboo or one of those newer Core X5 printers, then you saw them run the same input shaping calibration. Yes, Jeremy, like your flash forges. So what Rich is saying is I could have probably got better cuts and faster cuts if I would have had the air assist on its high speed. We can always test that. It's just so different to get used to having an adjustable air compressor on the diode. So it's nice to have options. You can use the high on cutting and the low on engraving. Sorry, I was reading. There were some of those lines that started overlapping, so I just stopped it. But there you get a good idea how that looks. Keep in mind that was at 20,000 speed too, so it wasn't running slow. That's a satisfying thunk when those magnets suck that down to the honeycomb. It's not going to want to focus. Okay, so based on that last material test, just this, edit the text. Okay, that's good. All right, I'm going to run that cutting test again and turn the air assist up to high. Things humming now. Again, that text is running at 20,000 and 40% power. And I bumped the speed up to just range between 1,000 and 2,000 millimeters per minute and power 40 to 100. I can really tell a difference with that on high. You probably can too, the way it's powerfully blowing the smoke out of the way. Looks like that one's definitely out. That one should have fell out too. They're just being a little stubborn. That one's all the way through. Through. It's just barely hanging on. Drop out of there. There it goes. $13.33 and 100. That one almost cut through. This one. Had it backwards and upside down. So 15, 33, and 100. That one almost popped out on its own right here. This one definitely did. The 1378 and 100, it was out. This one almost was. This one is ready to fall out. $13.78 and 93. The 1533 and 100 is pretty darn good. That one's just almost through. That one's almost. That one's almost. So we did get a little bit of improvement there. And then the backside, keep in mind that's on a honeycomb. Very consistent. The one I happened to poke out right there. All right, hour and 45 minutes in. They covered a pretty good amount so far. One thing I did want to do, here's Rich's video. That is not it. Damn it. That's the Aliencell Facebook group. Here's Rich's video. One more thing, and then I'm going to wrap this up. I didn't want to forget about Brandon's image from his super chat earlier, so I'm going to do that right now. Show that to you, and then I'll wrap this up so I can go get my workout in and get ready to go to work tomorrow. Boo. And Brandon, here is your sneak peek. That's pretty good, I would say. All right, that's all I have. Hopefully you enjoyed a sneak peek of this Aliencell, which is currently running in LightBurn mode. How cool is that? You can hit quit and get out of that. Unplug the air compressor and turn it off. Close the lid. And you saw in Rich's video the fans. So let me show you this. So here's the exhaust fan that's in the back. Quick detach, so you can spin it around, exhaust to the left or right. It does have these foam filters here. Then it just pops back in place, but I'm not going to pop it back in because I've got a USB cord wrapped around it that's now binding it up. Cable management, it's always a freaking issue. All right. Yes, rotary, fire extinguisher, air purifier are coming soon. All those are in the works. It's going to be pretty exciting to see how this all develops and shakes out, and we see all these accessory items show up. But everything looks, I mean, it's solid. It's very well made. Lid's great. Wouldn't recommend standing on it, but it's pretty sturdy. Then, well, let me take my magnets out. Magnets are out. From tray for easy removal. Yeah, let me just do it this way. Here's what your honeycomb looks like. It's very beefy. It's not bendy. It's solid. And I've already engraved some of the paint off the bottom of the crumb tray. Nice. And if you heard that click, I don't know if you could hear it, but just watch. magnets. So it locks it in place and it is in the same place every time. So it indexes. So your honeycomb's always going to be in the same spot. Then, of course, if you're using the knife blades, obviously that would be easier if it was installed, but they just pop right in place like that. And they don't wobble and wiggle around. I mean, that's another plus. Very well made. Yes, it is the heaviest honeycomb. I've had honeycombs that were larger that didn't weigh as much as that one. Yes, that is a toolless exhaust hose. It's basically like threads, screws into that exhaust outlet. You can get hooked up with no tools or band clamps. Any other questions before we exit? These hold downs are pretty awesome. That was a really cool idea. Okay, imagine you have all your knife blades installed and you're wanting to hold your material and keep it from moving around. That's when you take the honeycomb portion, insert it into the knife blade portion, and let's see, how exactly does that work? Isn't that supposed to fit between them? Do I have them in the wrong one? So all you have to do is you just skip a spot and use that. You can use that to hold it down, I think. Something like that. I know I screwed something up, but you get the point. Yeah, that's what I thought. Every other knife. That's what I did wrong. That's it. Yeah, 4-inch does fit over. That's what I did. I just slid it right on that white piece and clamped it. And it's working just fine. All right, folks, enjoy the rest of your Labor Day. Link is pinned at the top of the comments for the Aliencell X1 Kickstarter. Check it out. And if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.